It's been about a month since Charlie Kirk was gunned down for simply trying to have a dialogue with people who disagreed with him. Since then, there was a monumental memorial service that more than 100,000 attended, and it was televised, so at least 1 million more watched it on TV or online. A lot of people have posted that they went to church for the first time or the first time in a long time after that. In this video, I want to share 3 things that you should do if you've just started going to church. The assassination of Charlie Kirk sent shockwaves through the culture, not just in America, but around the world. We had a vigil for Charlie here in Kailua Kona, Hawaii, but there were similar vigils all over the world. Some people posted that they were happy he was killed, and that caused revulsion among millions of others. Then people started posting that they had gone to church for the first time or for the first time in a long time because of the shock and dismay at this senseless murder of a man who became well known among high school and college students for simply wanting to talk. I want to share 3 things you should do if you turn to God after Charlie was killed. These things are for you if you are new to church or if you are a Christian who's doubted your faith. The third thing will be the most important. The first thing to do if you've started going to church is don't stop going. There were a lot of people who went to church after Charlie Kirk was killed. There were a lot of people who went to church after 9/11 too, but after a while things cooled off and went back to normal. Some people kept going and developed their faith walk, but others simply went back to their lives. So if you started going to church, keep going. There are a lot of different kinds of churches, so the first one you go to may not ultimately be the one for you. There are churches with a lot of different cultures, different emphases, and different worship styles, even languages, so don't give up if the first place you go isn't right for you. In my own faith journey, I've been a member and even on staff at a lot of different types of Christian churches. I've learned something valuable from each of them and met a lot of great people. Speaking of people, the second thing you should do if you've just started going to church is to ignore the people. I don't mean don't be friendly, I just mean that some of us who follow Jesus aren't always very good at it. We can still be petty and jealous and selfish. There are a lot of Christians who are self-righteous and judgmental. That's human nature. Becoming a Christian doesn't immediately solve all your problems. It's a process, and some people are further along than others. Someone wisely said, the church isn't a museum for saints, it's a hospital for sinners. So you will probably encounter some Christians who have a lot of growing to do, but then don't we all? Don't forget that Jesus was more critical of religious people than anybody else, and ultimately it was religious people who killed him for the things he said. Remind you of anybody? The reason you go to church is to walk alongside people who are on the same spiritual journey as you, but the journey is about Jesus more than the people. Before I share the third thing to do if you've started going to church, I should mention that this channel is about the issues raised by the biblical historical fiction series I'm writing called Age of the Kingdom. It's about the period of time 3,000 years ago when Israel was united under King Saul, King David, and King Solomon. There are 3 novels available now, told through the eyes of fictional characters. There are bloody battles, palace intrigue, and betrayal, as well as very inspirational people and heroic struggles. I've put a link in the description where you can get more information. The third thing you need to do if you've started going to church has nothing to do with going to church. At least, it's not something you do at church. You have to do this at home. I'm talking about developing your own relationship with God. How do you do that? You have to learn about God and talk with Him the same way you get to know anybody. You learn about Him by reading the Bible and or a devotional book of some kind, and you talk with God by praying. Don't think that praying has to be some different way of talking with different words. Just talk with God like you talk to a friend. There's an old song that says, "Let us have a little talk with Jesus. Tell Him all about our troubles. He will hear our faintest cry. He will answer by and by." And that's why I say talk with God rather than to God. Spend some of your prayer time just listening. You may not hear anything every time, but in the stillness, God may bring something to your mind that is just what you need. You can do this anytime you can get alone. I do it first thing in the morning, but that may not be the best time for you. You be you. And the same thing is true of taking time to get to know God as for going to church. Don't stop. It takes time to create a new habit, so when you drop the ball, just start again until it's part of you. Relationships can be rocky, and that's true of a relationship with God. You may feel like life has not been fair to you and are angry at God. That's okay. He's used to it, and He understands. He just wants you to talk with Him and not stop, and your life will be better for it. If you read the Psalms, you'll find King David was not always meek and mild when talking to God. He often complained about injustices and demanded that God right wrongs, or he was deeply discouraged and cried out to God to rescue him. Going to church will allow you to get to know people who are walking the same path as you, and it's very important, but ultimately your relationship with God is yours to own. On this channel, I often talk about reasons to believe in God and reasons to trust the Bible as God's Word. But I believe that your life will be better as a believer, even if it's not all true. I believe it is, but I'm just saying, stay with it, and you'll be glad you did. That's all for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. See you next time.